Hello, everyone. So I'm happy to be here painting skies with you. How are you doing? Well, while everyone joins, I will show you a bit what I have here today. You can see I have different palettes around me and colors. Um, I picked up my purple pink palette and some other colors I have around because today I'm in the mood of painting like cotton cloud land skies, like cotton cloud, like those pastel pink beach sunsets. We will see because maybe we will paint different kind of skies, but yeah. So here I have today separated sheets of paper because I want to paint maybe several at the same time. That's why I'm not using a sketchbook today. I'm using this Bao Hong watercolor pack, and it's 100% cotton, which I find it super useful when you are going to paint landscapes because yeah, it's um, it's very useful to have cotton paper um, that will make you control the water, let's say. You can't always control 100%, but you can better control the different layers and how the water absorbs, etc. So I really recommend that you use today 100% cotton paper. If you don't have, that's completely fine. You don't need it. But yeah, I just wanted to do it with this paper. What I see is that here I don't have many of the colors I want. My palette is very dirty, so maybe I will pick up a different palette. Just give me 1 second. Let's use this clean, well, more or less clean palettes to pick up colors there. Here I have also these very cute swatch cards. My best friend gifted them to me this Christmas, and I find them awesome. I mean, they are so cute. I don't even want to. I don't even want to use them. But yeah, they are very, very cute. I have this small one and this big one, and it's so fun. And I thought what we could start by swatching some of the colors we think our landscape, our sky has, and then paint the landscape, paint the full sky, let's say. So, okay, I have here my paper towel. Well, it's not a paper towel, it's just a towel. I have here, I think I will use the small one today. And yeah, I have here several pinks and blues and purples. And I've created a Pinterest board. I don't know if you saw it already or not, but I've created a Pinterest board. I will paste it into the chat. Anyway, if you go to Afri's Art Journey in Pinterest, you will see I have one board called Beautiful Skies. So that's the one I'm using today. And I use these Pinterest boards to get inspiration, okay, for different clouds I want to paint. And yeah, even though most of the skies I see in Pinterest, because I pin them from my mobile phone, they are almost all vertical format. And I don't print vertical format a lot, so I don't, we will see. Okay, Kenzo is asking me to open the terrace, so just give me a few seconds. This way you can also prepare your art supplies if you have something that you didn't uh, pick up yet. So, okay, I don't have a particular exercise for today. I think the exercise really is to use different layers. Okay, so that's how I approach landscape. I first make a first layer, and depending on how you want the clouds to be, you can either wait for them to wait for the first layer to dry and then put some clouds. This will make the clouds have very strong silhouette. So the borders of the cloud will not be flowy, they will be very strong. And my favorite way to paint skies is about while it's still dry, the paper is still dry, we will add color. But sorry, while the paper is still wet, we will add color. But it's not like automatically after the first layer. It's like we need to dry the paper in between, you know what I mean? So yeah, we need to let the paper dry in between, just a little bit, for us to have this soft cloudy effect. So yeah, I'm thinking of cutting this paper in two, maybe. I think I will do that because I want to do several skies. Okay. Hey, Laura, hello. Okay, so I'm just trying to cut my paper. I should have done this before probably, but that's fine. We will do it now. That will also give you time to prepare your supplies if you are still not 100% prepared. But yeah, I thought of doing smaller skies today. Okay, so now I need some scissors here. I'm also going to pick up a board I have. It's a plastic board, and I will use it to put my paper there. I will not tape my paper today. I will really let it free, but you will see why. Oh, okay. Apparently I was cutting two pieces of paper and not one. Oh my God, that's fun. Okay, now I have four different papers. That's cool. Okay, great. So I will show you why I'm using a board. So I have, oops, my board here. Um, where is it? Where is it? Okay, I don't find the board, but that's fine. I have another board here, which is just a cardboard. This is very, very thick cardboard. This is not the one I was looking for. I was looking for another one I have in plastic, but it's fine. We'll use this one. And I will go to the Pinterest board. I don't know if you saw it already. Let me share for a second. Yeah, let me share my screen. So, okay, this is one of the photos, but oops, let's move this down. You see here, I put a lot of different skies, some with a storm sky, some like cotton cloud. I like to call them cotton cloud. I don't know why. They remind me of cotton candy, you know? Yeah, it's like cotton candy clouds. I think that's valid. I think people call it this way as well. Some of them have also like beautiful beaches, etc. I don't know. Like maybe we can start with a simpler one, like this one. This is a night sky with some pink clouds and some stars and a small moon there. Oh, this one I've painted in the past. I don't know if I have my painting there. I don't have it there on the wall, but I can show you later how I used this one as an inspiration like a long time ago when I started painting. So yeah, for me, I think I want to go for something like this first. I don't know if this one or this one. I like both. I think I will start with the purple one. I love purple, so I think. Anyway, feel free to choose the sky that you want. You don't need to paint the same sky as I'm painting. So, or this one is kind of cute. As I told you, most of the photos are vertical, and that's really a challenge for me because I don't paint vertically often. So yeah, it's not that easy. Maybe we can start with this one. This one is quite simple to do, like if you have practiced gradients a lot, you would know how to do this one. And this one is similar, but then with more, the ones with clouds are similar, but with more layers than the first one. I don't know. I think I will choose this one. It's more abstract, so let's start with this one. Okay, so now I'm going to wet my paper, but I will wet both sides, okay? That's very fun when you wet both sides. And why I want to wet both sides? It's because I want the paper to stay wet for a long time. So I can add not only one layer, but the second layer while it's still wet. So don't be afraid, wet your paper. That's why also you need to use a very thick cardboard, like the one I'm using today, or a plastic board maybe. It's not that you need, I mean, you can do it on your table, That's not a problem. Also, let me know, I don't know if you are using if you are painting the same sky or not. If you want, I can even stop sharing the screen if you have your own sky chosen. What I will do probably is I will just, I don't know if I can make this smaller, like a smaller window, right? I'm not sure. I'm just figuring out all these Zoom things. Okay, maybe I will give a little bit more water. And I will not start painting right away, okay? I will wait for a bit for it to dry because, yeah, if it's too shiny, if there are pools of water or if it's too shiny, you see, like paint will go everywhere. So we will wait for it to not be this shiny, but to absorb the water for a bit, and then we will come back to it. And then I have here these swatch cards I showed you before. I don't know if I can pin this screen at the same time. Can I? Okay. Maybe, yeah. Just let me quickly figure out what's going on. Oh, so now I can hear you. Hi there. Hi, Laura. Welcome. Yeah, I was trying to know what to do. What do you prefer? Do you prefer to have the photo here, or do you prefer to see what I'm painting? I'm not sure. Anyway, what I will start doing is I will make kind of a swatch card of the colors I see there, just for fun, and because I want to use these swatch cards. It's the first time I use them. They were a gift from my best friend, and they are so lovely. I would not like to see your painting. That's great. Then maybe I can stop sharing the screen. You know already what we are painting, and you can also, yes, good. And you can also have it on your screen at the same time if you want. So let's see these kind of violets. I have so many violet paints. These lilac violet paints, I love them. They are really pastel-like colors. So let's see. I want to compare them because some of them are more blue, some of them are more pink. And if you don't have this kind of colors, that's totally fine. You have two options. You can either use the white watercolor on your palette, if you have one. I didn't have one when I started, I think. Well, I think in my first watercolor set there was a white watercolor, but I never used it. But you can use it to mix it with some purple and some lilac or pink, and then it will become kind of pastel color. And if not, you can also use a lot of water. So they are very, very thin, like, you know. For example, I can make an example here. What I see about this paper is that it doesn't absorb very much the water. Huh? So it's more of a cellulose paper. You see the water sits on top. That's fine. It's just that it's interesting. But for example, imagine that I have a very dark purple like this one. I think this one is, I mean, it's not that it's dark, but it's not pastel. It's not a pastel color. Okay, you see, it's quite intense, let's say. So if you have any other pastel, you can mix it with the pastel, okay? Or you can simply add a lot of water and just use it very light. So it appears to be pastel, but it's not pastel really. That's also completely fine. Oh, I'm having a hard time with these swatch cards. I mean, they're super cute. It's just that I use too much water for them, probably. You see, I mean, this is not the best paper to show, I think, but I think it would show more on the cotton paper. Okay, this was just for fun. Why not? We can make more of this later. Now what I will do is I will pick up flat brush, okay? Why a flat brush? Because for me, when I paint gradients, and that's the first thing we will do here, I like to go across the board and across the paper very easily. And this flat brush allows me to cover more, more surface in less time. So that's why I like them. But some people do gradients with rough brush. It's possible, it's just, it takes longer, okay? Or you can also use a very large round brush like this one. Maybe with this one, it will take less time. But it holds a lot of water as well, so you need to be careful with that. So yeah, I like to use a flat brush. And I see that here I have more like a pinkish kind of sky. Probably this flat brush is too big for picking up color. My paper is still wet, by the way, but if when I start painting, I see it's not well enough, I will add another layer of water. But I see it's still wet. And just to make it easier, let's pick up color with the round brush and then we'll come back to the flat brush. So I'm trying to mix enough paint for me to go over the whole page. That's important. We have enough paint. Because if halfway through we don't have enough paint, it doesn't, I mean, it's not a huge problem, but then paper starts to dry and then you can't control the effects, etc. So yeah, I prefer to do it this way. Let's pick up some other color here. Maybe I will make this one darker. You see, you can also pick up some colors like this pink and then add more like a purple touch or something like that. I will do that with this one. I also see a bit of a bit of shell pink. I mean, I don't know if you know about shell pink. I will show you which color I'm talking about in a moment. I'm also preparing this dark because I see some clouds are darker, but I don't like that they are so intense. So I will probably mix just a little bit of a purple or a pink color to make it more muted, you see? Well, to make it more muted, we need to mix a bit of yellow because to mute a color, you need to mix it with its complementary. Okay, so I'm mixing now some yellow ochre here. So it's not so vibrant and it's more muted. You see that, yeah, okay. It's important also to think about the consistency. I think this one is not consistent enough. It's quite watery, so I will have here a mix of the same color, but with less water, more paint and less water. So some purple and some yellow ochre. More concentrated, let's say. Okay. Okay, so yeah, my paper is still wet. I see it. And because I'm starting with wet paint, that's fine. So I will pick up some of the pink and you just need to repeat this movement all across the page. And it's normal if your color is quite muted at the beginning, not muted, but quite light. So don't worry, we will keep we will keep adding more layers. And if you see you didn't mix enough paint, which is the case for me, I just pick it up as I go because I know the paper will stay wet for a long time. I can feel it. So now I see there's like a touch of blue here, honestly. So I think I will add a bit of cobalt blue. Yeah. There's a kind of a blue touch, you see? So I will add a bit of blue here, even if it's mostly covered by clouds later, it doesn't matter. And I also see, the shell pink. I didn't tell you about the shell pink. Okay, I will come back to it. So I'm adding here a bit more of pink, maybe some lilacs. As you see, I'm not only using the colors in my palette, I'm also using some other colors. I feel they can add an interesting touch. Okay, so now we have a first layer. Let me pick up the shell pink color. I think it's in my planner palette. Just 1 second. Yes, so it's here. This is, I think, shell pink, if I'm not wrong. Or maybe this is not shell pink because I changed it recently. No, this is not shell pink. This is, which color? Jaune Brilliant. How it's called, this color? Jaune Brilliant or something like that, I think. I will, because I need this to dry for a little bit, I will try to pick this up. You can see the colors in my palette are so tight, I cannot even pick this one up. This is because I try to fit as many colors as I can in my travel palette. This is the palette I use to paint outside. So 1 color more is better for me. Okay, so this is Naples yellow. And whenever you see this touch of orangey clouds, like at the bottom of the reference photo, Naples yellow is great. But there's another one which is called shell pink. And if I'm not wrong, this color, it's from Holbein, shell pink, and it's such a nice color for that as well. But it's slightly more pink. So I will try to clean up this color first before showing you how it looks like, because it's quite dirty. I mix it with literally everything. Whenever I want to make a pastel color, you just mix it with a color that already has like a pastel tone, and then it's easy. So let me show you this color, this Naples yellow. It looks like very much like a kind of pastel ochre or something like that, you see? But it has a nice touch of your orange. And this one doesn't have as much orange as the one I see in the photo, so I will pick up some yellow that is more orange-like. You see? And do it like that. I also like to mix it with some pink. Yes, this is the color I was looking for. Like a more of a salmon color for the clouds I see below, like on the picture, but below. So I just added Naples yellow and some magenta mainly. I mixed these two colors. And the cool thing about these pigments, the pigments that are a bit pastel-like, so this means that the color has white pigment. The good thing about this is that I will show you now here. I mean, I think I don't like that it's too light. The first layer is too light, but I will show you just to show you that it's also too wet. But as you can see here, the pigments with white, so the colors that have white pigment, they are more heavy than the colors that don't have a white pigment. So they will win over any other color, even if the color is lighter than the one on the base. You know what I mean? So because the pigments are heavier, like they have more weight, let's say, the small particles, then they win over any other color that is on the paper. So they will just make their place on their painting. And if we don't like this, that's fine. We can still do it like this. Oh, these paints look so pretty. Oh, which ones? These ones, maybe? Or these ones, yeah. I have so many colors. I feel embarrassed sometimes. So, yeah, this one, let's make it. They're quite thick. Yes, the bright palette. Oh, thank you. Yes, it's a palette from Case for Making. I think it's a company in the US. And I fell in love with this palette. And the fun thing is that it was a custom palette, some customer order, and they love it so much. They love the combination of colors that they made it a palette on their website. So isn't that cool? I really like these neon colors, but honestly, they are cool for how it's called, paints, handmade painting, sorry, but not for scanning, because when you scan neon colors, you cannot see them. So that's fun. I've used them here once. And by the way, I'm still waiting for this to dry, so I will show you where I used. Yes, here, Lila Peak. So on camera, you can't see it, okay? But this is so bright, and it's this neon color. And I love it very much, but I'm sad that it doesn't pick up in real life. I mean, in real life it does, but not in one of the prints I wanted to make, etc. But yeah, maybe I will paint it pink, just pink. And I also made some few details of the flowers with this color, and it was so cool. Okay, so this is still wet. Maybe we put a lot of water, but I prefer to put a lot of water, honestly, than not enough. I can touch it I can also see it here. I can still try just a little bit. I will try it with this color. You don't need to try yet if you want to wait. Wait to see what happens in my painting. Yeah, it's still too wet. To see anything I put, it automatically spreads so much. I mean, that's not bad. We can already start doing this. These clouds here and there, but they will not have very defined edges. It's just that they will be they will expand very much. Yeah, they will not have a lot of shape, let's say. But it's fun to do this for like more soft clouds. I see some soft clouds. So this is a good second layer, I would say already. So I'm just looking at the painting and checking where are the darker clouds. For example, this one I painted here, I think it needs some of the orange, pinky salmon color. So let's make that happen. So here at the bottom, I see, and I see some of them here as well. Make sure to add some kind of lines. Because many clouds have this shape, like a more, yeah, flat shape. And I see that where the purple and the orange meet, they have kind of pink color. So let's try to add that as well. Yeah, I think this pink color is too pink, so maybe let's do it like this. And yeah, as you can see, this will be still a second layer, but we can add a third layer later. I will also add a few brush strokes here and there. And I see here like a kind of cloud that goes that way, like up. Okay, maybe let's try to make it work. Yeah, something like that. The flat brush is such a good brush for us to include in our brush roll, honestly, because I use it all the time like this. Like I open the bristles and I just, you see, if you open it this way, you have this separated, and then you can do these effects of some finer details or finer leaves, or even just this kind of cloud. Okay, this one is too wet for sure. So we will wait for it to dry a bit more. And I will pick up another one in the meantime. And yeah, I think honestly, I used too much water here. So maybe I didn't realize this paper is not as thick, it's not that thick. So maybe with this paper is enough if we only wet the front part and we don't need to wet the back of the paper. That's also important that you play with the paper you have, okay? Okay, so while that one dries, we will pick it up later, but I see it will take a long time drying. Let's do another sky, maybe. Maybe let's do another sky. Let me quickly share my screen again, just to pick up another one. So for example, let's pick a different one. What do you say? Maybe I love this kind of sky, the starry nights. Or do you prefer something more bluish? Something like white clouds, or even something like this, very dramatic. I don't know. What do you think? Do you have any preference? Let me open the chat to see. Oops. Chat is here. The one with the stars looks so magical. Okay. Yes, the red palette. That's why I fell in love with Neo so much, but they just won't show. Yes, right? I totally agree. Okay, let's do the starry one then. This one. It looks lovely. Okay, I will also maybe. I sometimes take screenshots like this just to have it there while I paint. Whatever you like to paint. I like all of them, honestly. So yeah, I'm happy that if you like this one, let's paint this one. But I like all of them. That's why I put them in the on the board, you know? It's like it's very difficult for me to paint something I don't like. So that's why I always choose photos I like to paint. Yes, so let's do that one. I will probably do something else here because I'm used to very thick cotton paper. This one is not very thick. It's cotton, but it's not very thick. So let's just go for it without wetting the paper. I just want to check how this paper works because it's lovely paper, but I don't use it a lot. So that's a way to test it out. I will mix some kind of dioxin purple, I think it's called this color, with blue. And the blue I love to use for the skies is the PV60, so Indanterm blue or Delft blue, I think it's called, because it just makes the loveliest blue slash purple color. You see it here. I love it so much. And then for the stars to show up, we need some dark background, really dark. So I think it's a good idea to make this mix. I don't know. I think I will add a bit of neutral tint. If you have neutral tint, you can add indigo. You can add this other gray, how it's called, Payne's gray to the mix because it's a bit, it mutes a bit the color and I like it when it's a bit muted, you see? So I like this second color more than the first one, but the first one I will use it for the second part of the sky. So let's mix both enough so we have enough pigment. And then at the end, I see at the bottom of the sky, I see some light, etc. I think I want to include the mountain just a little bit. I don't know. What do you think? Or we focus just on the sky? I think it would be nice to include the mountain. Maybe we will do. And then I will mix a bit more of the lilac. So here I have another different lilac. This one is from Holbein. And I had it here because I just finished it. It's called lavender. It's called lavender. I love that paint. It's so beautiful. It's quite deep. It's a lilac, but it's more towards the blue side than the pink side. So that's also something to consider. I will mix it with a bit of lavender because I see some kind of pinkish tones at the bottom of the painting. So let's do that. Okay, so as I said before, I will not pre-wet my paper this time just to see what happens with this paper. I will wet a bit my brush and I will start with the darker paint. But I can already see that maybe I don't know if I have enough paint because it's quite liquid, so I added more. So let's start like this. 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 So let's Okay, at this point, I will include the second color, the purple bluish color. I make sure I go up to mix colors on the paper. And then the problem I see here, it's not a problem, but I will start adding already some of this color and some of this color as well. And I will do the shape of the mountain just with my brush directly. Honestly, the shape of the mountain for me, it's less important. I just made a shape. Doesn't matter if it's exactly the shape of the photo. So I will add more pink because I feel like I've lost it a bit. And then here I see like the Via Lactea, right? So with this same pink, you see I love these colors. The only problem I see is that you need to rub a lot to get the color. So I don't know. Now with this color, with mix of this color and this color, I will try to go a little bit up with the, to simulate the Via Lactea. I would even use some white here. If you have some white wash or something, I don't have white wash around, but I would add some white wash there to make it brighter. So what I can do is maybe we try to use this color. Which color was this? This one. This one is quite bright. Yeah, you see? It's a bit lighter than the other color I added. So because it's lighter, we can see it more easily. Okay. And then I will just add a little bit of this pink, this magenta, which is very, I'm very sorry. I think someone is calling. I will need to go check who is calling me. Just give me 1 second. That's fine. I will call them later. So yeah, I'm just adding a bit of this pink because I see that behind there's a bit of pink behind the colors. You can also, if you want, you just have your brush, you dry it very well on your towel, and then you can pick up color. If you want it to be more bright. See if you want small parts of white showing up. Okay. It looks nice, I think, so far. I know the shape is a bit weird because I didn't think very much about it, but I think it's good. It's good. You can also add more white around, so it's not that much of dot pattern, you know what I mean? But I think I like it this way, so I will not touch it a lot. I will leave it this way. Okay, this one will dry much faster. And I see the error I committed here, which was that this paper is not that thick, so that's why sometimes this happens, but it doesn't mean we don't finish this one. Huh? This one, I think now it's quite great for us to go over it. So this one, I like it as it is. I will leave it as it is. I will just have it here to dry. And then here on this one, let's try to add the darker clouds we saw before. Okay, if you remember, it was some kind of purple clouds, these ones. Okay, have some color there. It was this color, purple with yellow ochre, if you remember. So Now, I think it's still a bit wet, but it will not be that wet, you see? Yeah, now we can see that the clouds stay put much more. And honestly, for me, this is way too dry. For me, I would have loved to add the clouds when it was still a bit more wet. So that's why when I paint clouds and the skies, you always need to be babysitting your paper because maybe it's still too wet, but then it's not wet enough, like it's happening, what it's happening now. But we can do some trick. I will show you now, maybe, because I've painted many of these skies. You can either do this and with a spray bottle, this is just water, you do that like that. Okay. The problem with this is that it will become again very wet, but at least the shapes you have are not that harsh, okay? The shapes you have are not that wet. Or with a wet brush, it's not super wet, it's just moist. Then you go over the silhouette of the cloud. Okay, here maybe you can go over the silhouette. If you see a harsh line, then you go over it. And then you see it will soften, okay? And right now I love the way it looks. Why? Because water with the spray bottle made these shapes kind of crazy ramifications, branches, you see, that I will not be able to do with this brush probably. So I love the effect that we got here. I think it's quite nice. Then I will add here more clouds, but the different color. I will add clouds more in a lilac color again here because I see them. But you can see that this is too dry already. I mean, this doesn't look like soft, fluffy clouds. It looks like harsh clouds. That's why I will use again the trick of the spray. Then I will touch them a little bit. Make sure that your spray bottle doesn't go all the way like crazy. Like try to direct where you put the water. I know it's easier said than done. So of course, just play and experiment honestly. That's the best way to learn because also each paper is different, you saw what happened to me here. I used to paint this in a very different way, and anyway, we had to adapt to the paper. So here I'm still a bit obsessed with those clouds that go up. So I will try to open this as a fan, or you can use a fan brush, okay? I mean, I don't care. It's not that I don't care about my brush, but I prefer that it's useful for me than it's completely untouched, that I don't touch the bristles, etc. You can also use this kind of brush if you have one, okay? But if you don't, you can totally use a flat brush. I mean, that's fine. Okay, 1 second, because I want to make sure this doesn't have any green on it. Okay. Yeah, it has a bit of green on it. So let me clean it quickly. Yeah, experiments. Totally agree, Laura. Right? Sometimes I feel very afraid of trying things and experimenting, but honestly, it's so fun. And it's one of the best ways, I think, to learn. Okay, so I think the green went away. Please, I hope the green went away. Indeed, let's not hope. Let's thoroughly clean this brush. And now that it's this way, I will open it like a fan, and then let's pick up some lilac I saw here. And then Let's try to make it like that, maybe. Can you see that? Right. You need to be careful with this brush also, because when you use it all the time in a certain direction, it looks like it's not nature. You know what I mean? It's not like organic shape. It looks like all the time the same shape was put in different places. So just make sure you vary the brush strokes, like you maybe do it only with one and then only like this. Okay, I can see already there some things. I think it's quite nice, this one. Let's allow it to dry. I'm just jumping around from one painting to another. I know, maybe it's a bit confusing, but I think we need to respect the times of trying. So I love this one. I really like it, but I want it to be darker. So let's break it. Let's break it and let's make it darker. Also, it's 5 o'clock, so if you need to go, don't worry, feel free to go. I always plan for 1 hour, but I know that sometimes I will make maybe 1 hour and 15 or so to finish the 2 paintings. But if you can stay, I'm happy about it. And if you're watching the replay, by the way, you can watch the replay Patreon. I have a very easy tier. It's just one tier and it's just another live stream tier. So mainly instead of having one live stream, Patreons have an extra live stream in which we paint whatever you would like us to paint. So here, if you remember, we added, I'm just mixing again, by the way, the same colors. We added a bit of this color to make it more muted, a bit of yellow ochre. Okay. I'm a bit afraid when I'm doing these things because I really like how it looks, but it doesn't matter how it looks. We can make it look better even. Let's pick up the flat brush. So are you painting the same skies or did you choose another sky? I would love to know. And I will tell you how we will solve that problem in a second. Okay, it's not a problem, but I will tell you how, because now I don't want to go all the way around. I will tell you how we solve that, but we need to work fast for this to work. Honestly, we need to work very, very fast. So I'm going around it now. This color, and if you remember, we had some pink here, which I will add with this brush because it's much smaller, and I think I can be more precise with it. And the idea here is that you paint fast this part. And I will tell you why. Okay, and I went over the mountain a bit, but that doesn't matter because the mountain has some white snow and the snow reflects the color of the sky. So that's completely fine. Okay, now quickly, you take your brush, you dab it on a cloth and you go around these edges. So you soften the edges the same way we did before. Mainly. Oops, sorry, I don't know if I'm... You soften all the edges, you go over the edges with your damp brush. Even you add a bit of color into them. Don't be afraid of adding a bit of color into this Via Láctea. But the most important thing here is that you don't have harsh lines because they are glowing. I mean, it's glowing, so it doesn't, for our brain, it doesn't make sense that it has harsh lines. Okay. Something like that. And if you wait for it to dry a little bit, you can also pick up paint later. But yeah, I like much better the darker sky here. Of course, when it's dry, it will be much less dark, so it will be lighter, but I'm adding a bit of contrast here because I see, if I don't add contrast, I think it will not be as strong, probably. And let me answer you one question. I'm recording it this way, so you can see the palette and you can see the colors, etc. But please let me know what you prefer. Maybe you prefer a closer look, you know? You maybe prefer to see the painting closer than to see the palettes I have around, the mixes I make, etc. I think it's less important what I'm painting, so I think it's less important the painting itself, but it's more important to maybe know what I'm doing and how, but I don't know, maybe you have another opinion, that's fine. So yeah, as you can see, I'm adding a bit more of contrast to this second part. So it's like if I was adding a third layer. Okay. I think I will leave it as it is. Maybe a bit of pink again. That part. Let's leave it like this. Let's let it dry. And let's check this painting. And what I see now, and I really like, is that you see the granulating colors. I mean, they are not granulating, but they are separated, the pigments, right? Can you see the pigments separating a bit? I like this effect. I see now those clouds going up as well. That's cool. I'm missing a bit of blue here. I think that blue is not that dark. So I want to add it. I want to add more blue here. And in order to add more blue to the painting, I'm using a very light concentration. So not a lot of concentration of paint. Much more water than paint. And also maybe I will have cauliflowers, maybe. We will see. What you just heard is my dog trying to open the door to the terrace. Just give me 1 second. So give me 1 second, please. Okay, so just make sure you soften your edges each time you have another layer or something like that. I think this one is interesting. I would like to add darker clouds now as a next step. Yes, 1 second, dear. Let's open the door for Kenzo. So yeah, I think the last step I will do is I will add darker clouds to this one, and I will add the stars here, okay? So for now, this one needs to be dry a bit, but I will keep it next to me to see when we need to pick it up. And then also this one, it's very important that we make the shadows on the mountain. So let's do that already, because while this part dries, we can work here, no problem at all. Okay, so with a kind of a lilac color, I mean, I'm not checking even the photo, but I can check the photo here. Okay, I can pick up similar colors that I use here, because I can see all this part, everything in the mountain, it's in shadow because it's the night. So you will not have like bright snow, which means almost the whole mountain will be lilac or purple. So what I'm doing is, with a mix of water, colored water, and lilac color, I'm painting kind of different strokes here and there, just shadows, you know. It's like the shadows of the of the snow. Sometimes it's hard to talk at the same time you're painting. And I'm picking up really different shades of purple here and there. And if I see that I have something that is very harsh, a harsh line, I will go with the wet brush. And I love painting wet on wet, honestly. I mean, you saw it today. I'm not afraid of using water. I love to paint wet on wet. It means you will need maybe more layers to do the things, because yeah, you need for them to dry. And I'm happy with how it looks like right now. I want to add the forest. Okay, and the forest, I will use the same color I used here, which is neutral tint. You may use Payne's gray, or you used indigo, so use the same color. So everything is quite of kind of color combined. You know, the palette, it's the same throughout the whole painting. I'm also checking the chat. I'm painting, practicing something different, but love watching you paint. You make it look so easy. Thank you, Laura, very much. I personally like seeing the color mixing and the palettes, etc. Yeah, the Naples yellow makes it so lovely and warm. Yeah, you're right. I love the Naples yellow here, right? In this other painting. I really like it. It's like, it has warmth because it's like still sunset, you know, the sun is still there, but there are also cool colors like blue and purple. So I also love it. And totally agree. I love to see other people paint while I'm painting in my own thing. So I'm happy to keep you company. And yeah, you can always paint skies any other day if you want to. And what I'm doing now is I will pick up quickly the charger of my laptop because I forgot. So this is a process. Painting life is a process that I need to refine still. I need to find that it's important to charge the laptop at the same time. Okay. Now I need to find a place for my laptop charger to be, which is the second challenge. Here, okay. Yes. Perfect. Yeah. That's so fun. Anyway. I don't like how this is drying. I mean, I like how this is drying, but I see some harsh lines there. Doesn't matter that much because I can always go over it with a damp brush. And it's fixed. That's cool. Yes. Cool. So what are you painting, Laura? Are you practicing something different? This one, I think is ready to receive more clouds. Sometimes I touch the paper. Some people will tell you, you shouldn't touch the paper because the oils of the hands, and they are so right. But I need to feel things, you know? I need to feel everything. Okay, we're a bit delayed with time, but that's fine. Sorry for that. Next time I will try to stay on the 1 hour 15 max. I'm going to abstract lines today, trying to create depth and dimension only with lines. Oh, cool. I love to see that later if you post it on Instagram. That's cool. That's cool. Also, we have the happy Paint Yourself Happy challenge now in February, and it's all about this week. I think it's about mark making, and it's lovely also to experiment with abstract art and shapes. So I totally encourage you to do it. Even if I paint more figurative stuff, I paint a lot of abstract as well, but I don't post it as much, I would say, but I really like it. Oh yes, I wanted to look at this too, I forgot. I mean, you have the whole week. It's Monday. And even if you do it in February, don't worry, you can do it in March, or, like sometimes we put ourselves some homework, let's say, and it's totally fine. I'm still painting some paintings for a challenge that finished in January, but I don't care because I like the challenge. So what I want to do is to really do it and finish it, even if it's February. So the same happens with my 100 painted mountains. My 100 mountain challenge, I mean, on the 100 project last year. I didn't finish it yet, but because I see the challenge that I face now to follow this 100-day project, but now I plan to make it work. I plan to make it work this year, and I will continue with the same topic because I love the topic. Really, it's just that I didn't plan accordingly. So let's give ourselves some pat in the back as well sometimes and say, you know what, that's fine. By the way, I love how these clouds are darker, you see, but they stand out. So this is exactly how I wanted the paper to be at the beginning. Not here, honestly, that part, I don't like it that much, but we will use again our trick of the spray bottle. But yeah, I really like how this, oops, well, if I wanted to do that. I like how they are spreading the paper, how the paper is spreading, but still it's darker than the previous layer. And I think just to complete this, I will add a bit more of definition here, but not a lot, because I don't want this to be super dark, this part of the cloud. But I still want some darker parts here. I see here a very small cloud. And yeah, I think I will leave it this way already. Let's make this less harsh. This silhouette. Let's blend it a bit. Let's blend it out. So this one, let's blend it out a little bit. I mean, I can do this because the paper is not really dry. Because it's still wet inside. The fibers are still wet. Otherwise, probably we will get some beautiful cauliflowers. or blooms. Okay, I like to call them cauliflowers because in Spanish they are called cauliflowers and they are so, I love that they are called like that. So, okay, I think it looks nice. What do you think? For me, I know it looks very dark right now. Like this look very dark right now, but you will see when they are not so wet, they are not that dark, I think. Okay, I think I will leave it this way. I think it's cool. Let's look at it when it's dry. And in the meantime, this one is not dry. It's almost dry, but not yet. Okay, let's do the trees. Maybe let's paint the trees. I'm sorry if I'm jumping around, but this is how real life is in terms of painting. You need to come from one way to the other, one painting to the other. That's normal. And then here, what I will add is some trees. I see there are big parts that are dark, like that are trees. Like there's a huge shape here, and they are all trees. So let's put it already. And then from here, there's a lot of trees here as well, and they connect to each other here, the same place. So what I'm doing to paint the trees is to really make sure the brush is vertical to make the treetops. Well, not to make the treetops, but to give the impression that these are treetops. And also here and there, of course, there are many more trees that are not here, not in this line. And then in between, there are trees as well. So make sure to break the shapes that are too perfect. Also, if you feel this is too dark, you can go with the water and make some shadows and go lighter with the trees. I like to have a variety of things, a variety of contrast of colors. And then most of the tops of the mountain are rocks. I don't know if you can see it, but that's the truth. It's not, I mean, that helps to make the silhouette of the mountain. So that's cool. Okay. Then here, just these are just random shapes, honestly. Now I start to put random shapes around, etc. And I think it looks nice. I don't want to put a lot of attention to that, just a few more individual trees here and there. Make sure to make them smaller if they're farther away. If they are closer, we make them larger. That's fine. And then I can wait for this part to dry. I don't know why it's not drying, but what I can do quickly is to add to use the hair dryer. which is here, but I don't want you to be bothered with it, so I'm not as strange. Sorry. There are always so many cool projects and challenges. I need more time. Me too. I totally agree. There's never enough time to do all the challenges. And which paper do you use? Yes, I'm using this paper. I was testing it mostly. It's Bao Hong. It's quite cheap to be 100% cotton paper. I love the illustrator that made this one. She's called Ana Santos. She's a Spanish illustrator. And yeah, this one is a watercolor paper that is made in China. And yeah, I don't know if you tried it, but I really like it. It's 100% cotton. However, it's 200 grams per square meter. So yeah, you need to be careful because it's not that thick if you use a lot of layers like me. And yeah, I'm not as patient as you are. I mostly use a hair dryer. Yes. And now I will show you I'm not that patient either. But when we are in a live, I try to wait. So I will just mute myself for a bit. Let me dry this small side. It's just a very small part, and I will come back. It's dry. So you saw it was not very wet. I mean, I can feel the wet paper still, but it's dry enough so we can put stars, you know. Now, my favorite tip for starry nights are gouache and a brush, like a dental brush, you know, like to brush your teeth, you know, a toothbrush. Oh my God, a toothbrush. Okay, I love it. It doesn't look like it's buckling a lot. It seems quite flat for the amount of water, although it's thinner. Totally agree. It doesn't buckle that much, really. I mean, almost nothing. And even though it's super wet and it's super thin, you know, like that's what I really like. Like, yeah, it's wet for a long time, but it's because it's absorbed. It's not doing weird textures. So yeah, you're right. This paper is good for that. Let's pick up the gouache, white gouache, and the toothbrush, okay? My gouache is here, I think, yes. I will use some acrylic gouache, but I prefer the regular gouache. Honestly, maybe I can find it, but let me pick up the toothbrush, which is here around. If you have it, if you don't have this, that's fine. You can use Posca pen or gel pen, you know. But I prefer this method because the stars are more uneven, so they don't look the same size like with the pens. So that's why I like to use a toothbrush. I found it. So yeah, let's use acrylic gouache. I don't know if I should put it here. Let's put it here. No, I prefer a palette. A second. Let's use this super cute palette my friend made for me. And I will wet it first, a little bit. Then I will put the acrylic wash. Then, very important, I need to wet my brush and I will cover this. Okay, I will cover this with a piece of paper that I don't mind gets all the paint, all the white spot. It's just this paper here around. So yeah, I don't want, I mean, it doesn't matter really in this case because this is white, white and black. So it doesn't matter that much, but just in case we're doing it like this, we wet the toothbrush, we make it like this and prepare to be covered in white stars for 1 week. Definitely need to try it. Thanks for sharing. No problem at all, really. If you don't find it, I can give you the website where I bought it. It's a Spanish art store, which is called Arte Miranda. I don't know if you know about it. So now this is simple. You just, with your finger, you go over, let's say, the bristles of your toothbrush. And you will see it makes very different marks. You can go slower, you can go faster. Ta-da! What do you think? Okay, let's put it somewhere. My desk is a mess right now, but I love it. Okay, let me show it to you. Ta-da! What do you think? You see there are many, many different sizes of stars. Okay, now clean your finger. I clean it with my towel. Wow, this towel is wet. Okay, I will clean it with my towel. I will clean it, of course, later with some soap. But you can still do more things. Those things are, if we check the reference photo, we have here like a kind of shooting star, if I'm not wrong. I'm glad I tested this here on the paper before. You see? The shooting stars, I like to make them with my Posca pen. So probably this moment is quite funny. This one is, I think this one is quite dry already. Sorry for the noise. I didn't realize that maybe it's very noisy. I think this one is already over. Okay, no, it's fine. So be careful because your stars are still wet. And then I will use this one because I like the shape of this one. And I will just make a quick tail like that. And then I will pick up one of the brushes I was using, this one, not the watercolor brush because I will take the click paint. So make sure it's not a brush that you don't want to ruin probably. And then you pick up some of these and then maybe let's do it like this. I will try to emphasize the Via Láctea, you see? And yeah, I'm using my finger. You can also use a sponge if you have one. It will give you a similar effect, like effect of a lot of stars that are clustering there. And for me, I think that's a wrap, honestly. I think that's a wrap. I don't see anything else I can add to make it work better. Can also make sure you maybe add more stars. The Via Láctea. like white dots there, because with my finger what I'm doing is smudging it, so it's not so defined. The shapes are not so defined. But in some places you want more defined stars. So I don't know, what do you think? I think it looks fine now. I think I really like how it looks. So, done. Here are the two paintings for today. We took a bit more time than expected, but I hope you like them. I had a lot of fun making them. This one, I'm not sure you can see the true colors in the video, so I will take some photos for Instagram so you can see it. And this one, yeah, I think you can quite see it. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. Um, Laura says it's such a simple step, but it's always so much fun. Yes, it's so much fun. I imagine you were talking about the stars. So dreamy and beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you. So yes, if you want to see the replay, you can join my Patreons. You have all the replays for the past live sessions, and each month we have an extra live stream. So thank you very much for joining. It was, yeah, I had such a blast. It was a pleasure. So see you during the week on Instagram. If you need anything, if you try, please tag me so I can see it. And thank you. Bye bye. Ciao.